a global phenomenon in combat sports. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, has emerged as one of the fastest-growing sports organizations in the world, captivating audiences. With its unique blend of athleticism, strategy, and sheer entertainment. Established in 1993, the UFC began as a no-holds-barred competition, aimed at determining the most effective martial art. Over the years, it has evolved into a highly regulated and widely respected sport, drawing millions of fans globally and producing some of the most recognizable athletes in the world. The idea for the UFC was conceived by Art Davie, a businessman who wanted to create a competition to pit various martial arts disciplines against one another. Along with Rorion Gracie, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu master, Davie sought to demonstrate the superiority of Brazilian jiu-jitsu in a tournament-style event. The first UFC event took place on November 12, 1993, in Denver, Colorado. With minimal rules, no weight classes, and no time limits, the competition was designed to mimic a real fight as closely as possible. Royce Gracie, representing his family's jiu-jitsu legacy, dominated the inaugural event by defeating larger opponents with ease, showcasing the effectiveness of technique over size and strength. However, the brutal nature of the early competitions attracted significant criticism, with some labeling the sport as human cockfighting. This led to calls for its ban and the imposition of stricter regulations. By the late 1990s, the UFC faced mounting pressure from lawmakers, media, and the general public. In response, the organization introduced significant changes to make the sport more acceptable to mainstream audiences. The introduction of weight classes, standardized rules, and the regulation of matches under the unified rules of mixed martial arts, MMA, transformed the UFC into a legitimate sport. These rules included prohibitions on certain dangerous techniques, the use of gloves, and the introduction of timed rounds. Dana White, who became president of the UFC in 2001 after the company was purchased by the Fertitta brothers, was instrumental in reshaping the organization's image. Under White's leadership, the UFC focused on marketing its athletes as skilled professionals rather than brutal fighters, paving the way for broader acceptance. The UFC owes much of its global success to its charismatic athletes, who have transcended the sport. Fighters such as Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, and Anderson Silva became household names, not only for their performances inside the octagon, but also for their personalities and ability to captivate fans. McGregor, in particular, brought unprecedented attention to the sport with his brash demeanor, trash talking, and record-breaking bouts. His fight against Floyd Mayweather, a professional boxer, in 2017 was one of the highest-grossing combat sports events of all time, further cementing the UFC's status in popular culture. Ronda Rousey, a former Olympic judo medalist, played a pivotal role in legitimizing women's MMA. Her dominance in the bantamweight division and her appeal as a crossover star helped introduce a new demographic to the sport, proving that women's fights could be just as compelling as men's. The UFC's rise was not confined to North America. Recognizing the global appeal of MMA, the organization aggressively expanded into international markets. Events were held in countries such as Brazil, Japan, and the United Kingdom, where martial arts already had a strong cultural presence. The UFC also made significant inroads into Asia, launching events in China and establishing partnerships with local promotions. In 2019, the UFC held its first event in Abu Dhabi under a multi-year partnership with the Department of Culture and Tourism, Abu Dhabi. This partnership also included the construction of Yas Island's Fight Island, a safe venue for hosting events during the COVID-19 pandemic. These strategic moves have positioned the UFC as a truly global brand, with fighters from diverse backgrounds competing at the highest levels. The UFC's growth has also been driven by its business acumen. The organization's decision to embrace pay-per-view, PPV, revenue models allowed it to generate substantial income from blockbuster events. Partnerships with major broadcasters, such as ESPN, further amplified its reach. In 2016, the UFC was sold to WMEMG, now Endeavor, for a staggering $4 billion, reflecting its immense value as a sports entertainment property. Moreover, the UFC's emphasis on digital content has been crucial in reaching younger audiences. Its online streaming service, UFC Fight Pass, provides fans with access to live events, fighter interviews, and an extensive library of past fights. Social media platforms have also played a significant role in promoting fighters and engaging with fans. Despite its success, the UFC has not been without controversy. Fighter pay has been a long-standing issue, with critics arguing that athletes are undercompensated compared to other major sports leagues. Several high-profile fighters have publicly clashed with the organization over contractual disputes, leading to calls for unionization within the sport. Additionally, concerns about fighter safety remain prevalent. While regulations have minimized severe injuries, the long-term effects of repeated head trauma continue to be a topic of debate. Some experts have called for further research and measures to protect athletes' health. As the UFC continues to grow, it faces both opportunities and challenges. Emerging markets such as India and Africa represent untapped potential for expansion, with a growing interest in MMA among younger populations. Technological advancements, such as virtual reality, could revolutionize the way fans experience fights, making events more immersive than ever. However, the UFC must also address its internal issues to maintain credibility and ensure the well-being of its athletes. Greater transparency in fighter contracts, improved healthcare provisions, and continued efforts to diversify its talent pool will be crucial in sustaining its success. From its controversial beginnings to its current status as a global sports powerhouse, the UFC has undergone a remarkable transformation. Its blend of skill, drama, and international appeal has captivated millions, making it a defining force in modern combat sports. As the organization looks to the future, its ability to balance innovation with responsibility will determine its lasting legacy.